You can't get her on a date because you sound like her therapist, not a lover. And this is a very, very common and painful thing for guys. So, the way most guys approach talking to women is trying to weasel their way into the girl's mind, thinking they can sort of just wait, and if they were friends long enough, if they have enough contact with her, she's gonna get attracted. But attraction is not something you choose, right? Attraction is basically a chemical reaction in the girl's brain that she can't help but feel attracted to. And if you understand the science behind it, you can actually reverse engineer and make that happen in pretty much almost any girl you talk to. And so the first thing you don't want to do is operate from a place of seeing her as special. Because whenever you put her on this pedestal and you see yourself as here, you subconsciously treat her differently and you do weird shit, right? And so women are fundamentally not attracted to someone below them, right? They're attracted to someone above them and someone above or equal. And so you don't want to see her as special. I know it's hard to say when you're not in abundance and, for example, when you're not actually dating women consistently, but you don't want to do that. The second thing you want to do is understand why you're not sexual in the first place. Think about that. Because if you're a man, if you're watching this video, you probably have a penis. You have that sexuality, you have that animalistic self deep inside of you through millions of years of evolution. If your ancestors, if your parents and grandparents managed to have sex to create you, how come you don't? How come you have such difficulty displaying your true intentions to a woman? And there's many factors. One of them is society and the fact that, yeah, being a masculine dude nowadays is not pushed. It's not encouraged, right? Everybody's full of soy. Everybody's LGBT and a pro-feminist and all that stuff. So if you're a solid man who's not afraid of stating his intentions and being like, hey, I'm a man, I have a dick, and I like hot girls, and you actually go talk to them, yeah, you might be seen as a predator. So you need to understand that. You need to understand why society influences how you act or how you feel. Another reason might be your upbringing, right? Especially if maybe you grew up without a father or with like a very feminine household, then that masculine part of you might have been neglected, might have been pushed down. And you need to understand if that's the case. Because if you don't get to the bottom of this, you're not going to be able to get to number 3. And the third step is to actually, I would say, admit your sexuality when talking. It doesn't sound very sexy the way I frame all of this, but just bear with me, okay? You want to be honest and show intention, right? So the issue a lot of guys get in the friend zone and you know, you're being this therapist and like nothing is happening with this girl that you really want something to happen with is because you're not fucking honest. You're a liar. You're a little weasel hiding behind fake intentions, right? You think you can just weasel your way into the comment. No, you can't. Be honest from the start. That is the only way to gain a woman's respect. She literally physically cannot respect you if you're not honest. If you think you can just be friends with her and then if you're friends long enough, something's gonna happen. No, have absolute honesty. That doesn't mean you go up to a girl and say, hey, you are so sexy, I want to have sex with you. No, don't say that. But you can say that in a non-overt verbal way through your nonverbal communication, right? You can make her understand by the way you look into her eyes, by the pauses you make, by the voice musicality, that, hey, you don't see her as a friend, right? And if you do these three things, if you stop seeing her as special and you try to actually get to know her as a human, as a person, which is basically inverting the frame, like you're not operating from this low-level frame. If number two, you understand why you're not sexual in the first place and why it's not being pushed to be a masculine man. And number three, you have honest, true intentions with women every time you talk to them. Trust me, you will not be the therapist anymore. You will actually finally be the guy who can put his little wee-wee, I don't even know why I'm doing this, inside the girl. Or maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to be friends, be the therapist. That's cool. But then don't watch this video.